The views expressed on Talk Real Solutions, hosted by Tyrone Thompson at talkrealsolutions.com, are the views of Tyrone Thompson and do not reflect the views of talkrealsolutions.com, YouTube, or etc. The content here belongs to Talk Real Solutions and its many contributors. Views and opinions expressed by all contributors belong to them and not talkrealsolutions.com or Tyrone Thompson, the host, or etc. All data and information provided on the site is for informational purposes only. Talk Real Solutions makes no representations as to accuracy, completeness, correctness, suitability, or validity of any information on this site and will not be liable for any errors, omissions, or delays in this information or any losses, injuries, or damages arising from its display or use. All information is provided on an as-is basis.
All right, welcome, all to Talk Real Solutions. I am your host tonight. The number to call in is, oh, Lordy mercy, 717-908-1834. You don't have to press star 61 because everybody's line is open. Everybody's line is open. Tonight, don't laugh, y'all. The title of the show is The Howard Question. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. The Howard question is, I'm going to say like this. This is a theory based out of Africa theory, the migration. I know that has been a topic lately for the last week or so on the back shows. That has been a topic. So using Howard's name, I came up with different things in the science and history that I would like to discuss. Because we have to come to the understanding that if we start thinking that lies have been told to us regarding where we're from, then we'll probably have a clearer understanding of what's really going on and why what's happened to us has happened. But it seems like the lies, the lies are so deep, it's hard to really unravel. Because you have science saying one thing, and then you have history saying another. Okay, and then you have religion saying something else. So using Howard's name, that's why the title of the show is The Howard Question. I came up with different things to talk about. And the first, as we all know, the first letter in Howard's name is H. So with that, I would like to speak about the Homo sapien, which today modern humans are a subspecies of the Homo sapien, which is in scientific field. Hey, how you doing? Your lines is open. Is the Homo sapien sapien. Now, I'm not going to get into that, but as you see, I have a picture posted. I posted on Talk Real Solutions YouTube channel. There's a picture of the different hominoids that existed at one time or another, and that's not even all of them. That's just some of them. And if we really look at those pictures, one thing about humans, the facial features does not change. And when I look at that picture, I see people that exist today that looks just like those pictures. So they're saying that these hominoids are extinct. Hey, somebody got background noise. Can you mute your phone because your line is open? Thank you very much. Not unless you want to cut me off and say something, that's fine. I'm fine with that too. If you look at the picture, you'll see that the features on the supposedly extinct hominoids are very prevalent today. Like I see those people today. I'm gonna call them people, but I get it. Howard pointed out this week. He said, we all are animals. Really, we're classified as animals, which was shocking to me. But he did say that, which is the truth. We are classified as animals. But anyway, let me get back to my what's the name. So with the Homo sapiens, we are a subspecies of what the Homo sapiens were, meaning that we evolved. Ooh, everybody don't believe in evolution. Why? Why not? Is it because of religion? That everybody, where does it point? How does it point to, I gotta excuse me, how does it point, the Bible says you came from the dirt, but show me that today someone coming from the dirt and coming into existence. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. So, as again, if you're looking at Talk Real Solutions on YouTube, you can see the picture of the hominoids posted, and I'm telling you, you see those people today. Now, also, let me go into the O, which is O negative blood type. I'm sorry, I'm a little unprepared tonight. I got down to W, and that was about it. Only because Howard distracted me and talked to me today. Oh, let me pause for a second. Let me say this. If you're in the Georgia area, there will be a fundraising event Sunday, May 25th at 4 p.m., located at 1066 Honey Creek Road, Southeast Coroner, Georgia. Again, if you are in the Georgia area and you want something to do, it's a fundraising event Sunday, May 25th at 4 p.m. at 1066 Honey Creek Road, Southeast Coroner, Georgia. Again, somebody has background noise. Oh, go ahead. Somebody has something to say? Okay. So now I'm going to get into the O negative blood type, which is supposed to be the universal blood, which is the universal blood. What I found interesting, this also is a result of, this arose out of a mutation. Someone has background noise. I know who it is. Anthony, if you keep playing, I'm going to come to Louisiana and do something to you. Say it again. Put your phone on mute, please. And unless you have something to say, come on in and say it. About to piss me off, turkey. Okay, so back to the O negative blood types. The origins arose out of a result of mutation. According to AI, this blood, so they say, according to AI, they're saying that this blood type may have been
Muted.
They have evolved before other blood types existed. The reason why it's prevalent to malaria and things of that nature. And it's the universal blood, so according to AI. Again, it's because of human evolution. Now we're going to go into the W. Now we're going to go to the W. I think Howard messed me up. He patted me on my back. Talking about, you got to do a good show. I'm messing up like crazy. But anyway, going into the W, after the Ice Age, which they say existed for 1,000 years, you had a great migration of people based on land. Now, the way of the land bridges, which existed during the last glacier maximum, when sea levels were much lower, facilitated the migration of humans and other species from Asia to North America. Okay? I went a little further and I found that a Spanish missionary by the name of Fray Jose de Acosta during the 1590s produced the first written record of a land bridge connecting Asia to North America. I'm going to tell you, the reason why I looked into this today was because something on TikTok, of course, a lady was interviewing some men walking. I don't know where they was at in the world, but she was like, hey, how did you get here? She was asking them questions. Apparently they was in America. So she was asking them questions like, how did you get here? Did you take a plane? And they was like, no, we walked. And she was like, you walked? No, you mean you took the plane, right? You took a plane. Where you coming from? And one guy said he was coming from India. And I was like, well, that's strange. And she was like, you didn't take the plane? She kept asking him, like, you took a plane? He said, no, we walked. So that had me looking into, is there a way to walk from the Americas to other land masses? And according to what has been reported after the Ice Age, there was a way for people to walk from Asia into the Americas. Then I looked a little further, and I found that it was still existing, this land bridge was still existing, connecting Asia to North America during the 1500s, the late 1500s, 1590. Then I looked a little further, and during 1942, a geologist by the name of David M. Hopkins collaborated with other scientists and researchers to make a groundbreaking discovery about what they call the land bridges. And, as in geology, they got into, did this exist and how long it's been there and things of that nature based on the plants and the rocks and the soil and things of that nature. So in that sense, I was thinking that maybe a certain time of year the water does recede low enough for people to travel across, unbeknownst to us, but it is known to others that this may happen, and they are able to get into the Americas that way without having to take a plane or a boat. So anyway, the number to call in is 717-908-1834. If you want to add on to you can. And tonight the topic is the Howard question, and it is the out of Africa theory, basically. Out of Africa theory. Oh my goodness.
Hello,
I've
Sister
done.
About it.
Hey, how you doing? How are you, Sister
I'm well,
Antoinette?
thank you. Yes.
Thank you for. You have something you want to say?
Well, it's not about what you were talking about, so I was listening, but I just wanted to say hello to you and I'll let you know that I'm here and I'm listening.
Well, thank you, Sister Antoinette.
You're
Thank you very
welcome.
much. Thank you very much.
Are you going to talk about current events?
Go ahead, shoot. You want to talk about current events? Talk about current
Yes.
events. Go ahead.
Now, this is something that's really disturbing to me. Two things. One, now you hear Trump saying that he wants uh, the American children to know history, but he took the funding away from Howard University. He took it away from the Black Museum, Black History Museum. He's defunding all these colleges. Now he has all this money for this, what is it, a jet or something that country, China's giving, but he's defunding FEMA for helping out North Carolina and Alabama. He's making the iPhones where they have a 25% tariff on them and on England, and the stock market is dropping after he made these announcements.
So you're saying that Trump wants the students, the children in America, to learn about history. Whose
Yeah.
history?
Well, thank you.
Whose history? Because
You
it's
know
so
what?
much. When I looked today, when I was trying to look into the migration, I was getting a runaround from the scientific world into the migration of the people. You know, Eurasia. Oh yeah, the first people out of Africa. You know, I'm like, wait a minute, how did we get in Eurasia when we was just in Africa? Which one is
Right.
it? You know, so
Yeah.
then I looked at the gene mutations. What gene? What was the original gene that for the skin color? So I found that. So I said, well, let me look and see what's the percentage population-wise. I got the runaround. I'm telling you, I'm at my wits' end with it. But I realized that it's to cover up the lies that's already
Right.
been put out there. You know, that's what I realized today when I was searching for this, because everything is a runaround. If you're saying that the universal bloodline is O negative, okay, and then in one sentence you're saying that everything is out of Africa, but the bloodline is a universal bloodline, supposedly O negative, and it's out of Europe. It's out of Europe. So I'm kind of confused about that, because a lot of black people don't have O negative blood type or the RH negative blood type. So that right there, and blood is passed down. This stuff is passed down. So.
But I think it may have been too much mixing, with the slave master coming into them bringing their derogatory mess in and inserting it in us.
I agree.
I mean, that's the only thing I can think of.
Well, that's what I was trying to find. That's the rabbit hole I was going in today, periodically while I was at work, trying to find an answer to this madness. I wrote other stuff down, but I can't seem to find it right now.
Mm.
Shoot.
So no, that was my biggest gripe. And I'm not a iPhone user. I'm not big on them, but my daughter and my youngest son are. And and they're saying that the next ones would be like $3,500. People must be crazy if they're gonna pay all that much for a phone.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
they're
for
gonna pay all
us
that
when
money
they
for the
first
phone. They paid
Trump
$1,000 for the phone. They'll pay all that money for it.
Look, I never thought I would pay $400 and $500 for a phone. I remember, when they first came out, I was like, oh, nowhere in the world. And now I just paid $600 or $700 for a phone. But they're saying even the Androids are going to go up that much because of Trump. He's got 50% tariffs on your. I said, this is ridiculous. This man is he's going to make this country just, exactly what he was saying about. Hello?
Hi.
Yeah, you're on the
you
line.
talking about the tariffs?
Yes.
Okay, I'll listen.
Go ahead. I lost my thought.
Oh, no, you were talking about what Trump is doing with these tariffs. It's creating chaos. I think they're manipulating the market on purpose. He says something, it scares people, they sell off. Then the folks in the know, they buy it up cheap. It goes back up, and then it's something else, and the market drops. It's been going like that.
Yeah, but he also is not giving up in North Carolina. And those people's houses are being flooded.
You don't
He's
care.
not helping Alabama. He pulled the funding and everything from that. I mean, he's gone through all these colleges and pulling funding from Howard University, and for those children that were out there protesting, he's not going to give money to because Howard won't release the information regarding all these children or something like that. Which is ridiculous. Now, in the United States, you're supposed to be allowed to protest. And
well, he's marching it toward authoritarianism. This is part of his the 2025. You got to take over the schools, the universities, from the elementary all the way up to the universities, and you don't want certain viewpoints and certain histories being told. You don't want students who can think, who can be analytical, who will question. This is the march toward authoritarianism. That's what they do. And then, he's done everything, put fear into attorneys so that, you can't represent your clients, which is really ridiculous. And they caved. So I remember that Shakespeare play. I forget the first thing they said, kill all the lawyers.
Othello?
Oh, yeah, Othello, right. Because they know the law and they could stand up legally and advocate, right? So if you look at all of the different. I think of Neely Fuller. How he talked about all the different people activity categories. He's going at all of them. He's using religion. He's going out, education, art. Remember how he's taking over the museums and taking certain, you just think of all the categories. They're going at them all. It's all pre-planned.
But he's cutting the funding for the Black History Museum.
Oh yeah, and they've taken out, I think, certain art, certain art in there.
The art, yes. Well, they've already done that.
And then the woman that was over it, she got fired.
Yes, and then all of the people that went to work today that found out that in that they were being laid off, fired, or however you want to say it.
Part of the plan. It's already, been mapped out.
But I said he's gonna have people where, and I said, and then I seen where he was cutting food stamps, and I said, now I don't get them, and I mean my heart goes out to all these children that are going to be starving. I said, and people that are going to be, oh yeah, that's good. Like you're crazy. Because first off, people are going to be breaking in your house to get your food.
Yep.
Or whatever else.
It sounds like civil war coming.
Yeah. Sounds like, and then they can declare martial law, which is what Hitler did with authoritarian regimes, and they have the military and the U.S. Marshals marching down the street. You got to be in your house by a certain time. You can't be on the street. Where's your ID when you come outside? This is all part of this whole plan. Because if you create so much poverty and despair in people and anxiety, and they don't have the money to live, I mean, people are going to be losing their homes. All these people lost their jobs.
Yeah,
and they keep losing
there's the free labor. There's the slavery again. Because
there you go. They'll be convicted of felony, and they got all these private prisons. And that's why when didn't he say he wanted to have private prisons out in El Salvador? He can send U.S. citizens there too. So it's crazy. The judges are upholding it.
Sounds like civil war coming. When you stop wanting to feed the people, when you start taking away certain information that was available, when you start rewriting history, because I'm telling you, I went down a rabbit hole today looking for this information, and a lot of it did not want to say that you came out of Africa. So.
I did catch some of that with the beginnings of mankind and the different humans. I said, I guess humanoids
that they say don't exist, but really do exist. Because we're looking at them. Facial features don't change. Facial features do not change.
When you were talking about the universal blood, that means they're the universal donor. That means, a person with O blood can give to anybody, but they can only accept blood from another O.
Yeah.
That's what they're universal donor. And usually, I think, I remember reading something a little. You might want to do a little research about those folks with O blood, the history of that.
Yeah, they say it come out of Europe, but then again, it's so weird when you try to look for it. It really is. It gets kind of weird, when you really try to look for it. The RH factor comes out of Europe. It's supposed to be now they say the RH factor is like a new bloodline, but how is the O universal and the RH factor a new bloodline? I didn't understand that part. But yeah.
Well, there's O positive and there's O negative, and so there's AB, and O, and I think you can be positive or negative. And I'm
A. I'm positive. But O positive, they say that's what most black people are, is O positive.
I don't think so. I think it's Europeans. I think it's Europeans.
Yeah, that's what I found. Europeans.
Yeah, I think of. I don't know why I'm thinking of Dracula for some reason. I don't know.
On people.
It says 38% of the population has O positive blood, making it the most common blood type. But let's see, what is the genetics? What blood type is most Caucasian? Oh, Latin American, 53% O positive. Why? Okay, Caucasian, 37% O positive.
Mm-hmm.
How come we don't have black down here? Let's see. What is the most common blood type of black people?
Isn't it B positive?
I'm trying to think.
Because I know I was supposed to be B, I believe.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
It says that African Americans, 51% of African Americans are O, African, and 57% of Hispanics are O. So you're right. I just didn't know. I'm not O, so I don't know. Like, wait a minute.
I'm not O either. Because I think I'm
I don't
A.
know if that's correct.
Yeah, correct.
I mean, I know
it
when I
runs
was
you
in
into a rabbit
school,
hole.
it was that way. When I was in medical school, that's what it was.
Okay, let me see. What is the universe? What is the rare? How come they're not giving out the right information? Let's see. They might be right, but I haven't met anybody that black that said they were O. That's strange.
Strange, isn't it? Because the blood was going to the people.
But it says on different sites that blacks are 50%. But I'm kind of surprised at that. I wouldn't have thought that.
That's the reason why you see them killing these young people on the streets and everything. They're using their blood, they're using their body organs and everything else. Because their organs are still healthy. As you get older.
I'm trying to look up the most common blood type by racial groups. Caucasian O positive is 37%. African Americans O positive 47%. Asians O positive 39%. Latinos O positive 53%. Native Americans O positive 55%.
Something is wrong with that number. Matter of fact,
because I think I'm A.
And A is more common with white folks. I mean, and look, I'm A too, but I don't know how that happened because when I was younger, I remember being B positive and it changed and it became A, and I don't know how that happened.
Caucasians, they're like 37% O positive and 33% A positive.
Now that's weird.
Yeah.
What's the blood type of an Aboriginal?
I don't know.
I'm saying it out loud. I'm saying it out loud, but the only people they call Aboriginals are the Australians, right?
No, every nation has.
Aboriginal.
Every country.
Aboriginal.
Have Aboriginal.
But now they said that Aboriginal Australians, they're most commonly O positive at 56.6%. I'll just round it, 40% were type A. I haven't met anybody black that told me they were O, but oh well.
Right.
But I mean, we don't really discuss our blood types, to be honest.
Yeah, I do
I'm
know
gonna
one
ask. I'm
person that
gonna
is
ask. I'm gonna ask people I know.
yeah, my daughter's O, but I'm not.
Mhm.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
But
it
my
is
daughter's
B.
O
Very
negative.
few people are B. Well, but black people, 18% are B positive.
Yeah,
Latins, yeah,
yeah, because I know
9%.
that's my
Asian.
father was O positive. But now my daughter's O negative, so she can't take anyone's blood. They have to be somehow or another how that goes. Because even when she was pregnant, it was, you got to take medication soon, that you got to take daily because of that when
Mm.
you're pregnant.
Oh, I see. You know what? If she's O positive, she can only get a blood transfusion
No,
from
she's
another.
negative.
Oh,
She's
from an O
negative.
positive or O negative. She
Yeah,
can get.
she's O negative.
Yeah.
She can't get it from everybody. I
No,
couldn't
she
give her
can only
blood.
get it from O. She can
You're
get it from
right.
another O. Yeah.
Yeah.
But she can
Yeah.
give to everybody. The
Yeah, she
A's,
can
the
get it,
B's,
but right.
the ABs, and the O's.
Right.
Well, that's
Our
wonderful.
blood is taken. Well, it's not wonderful for her. You understand? That's my baby. Like, wait a minute. If she needs a blood transfer, which hopefully she never will, but
You couldn't do it because you don't have O
no.
blood.
Right.
You should find out who she could get it from in the family.
Oh, she can get it from her dad.
Okay. Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
And
But I
from her blood.
mean,
Yeah.
and then they have like donated blood. The only thing. Remember when that AIDS was going around and people were donating blood and they had.
Don't talk about it. They gave me a blood transfusion.
I know. Some
The
people
last
got it
time
from
I
a
was
blood
in there.
transfusion. I
Yeah,
know.
my son signed off on that because he knows I didn't want nobody's blood.
But Sister, how did you decide on the topic?
Oh, the Howard question, because he been fussing about the outer Africa thing. So I decided on the topic as the Howard. The title of the show is the Howard the Howard question. So I was looking into the humanoids and the blood types and the migration of people and just running into the hole. I couldn't formulate it, and I just running into a hole because nothing was adding up correctly. Nothing was concrete.
A while ago, they were going at it, Howard, and I think all facts and a couple other people going on about the humanoids and the this and the that. They were going, and the Homo sapiens. I'm not sure why sapien is said twice. I don't know what that means.
But we're the modern Homo sapiens. That's why they say Homo sapiens sapiens. We're a subspecies of the Homo sapiens. Because we have evolved. Yeah. So evolution is real. Even though we're not, we're a part of it, and we probably won't see what's to come. As far as people changing, but evolution, it's real. It is real.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that was one of the things.
those hardcore, religious people that believe that people were created on the seventh day or the sixth day or whatever day. It's like they don't believe in evolution. Yeah, the first day
from dirt, which is crazy. From dirt. And the curse. It
was from clay, huh?
The reason why Eve has a belly button is because she sinned, right? So my thing is, so why yeah, she got a belly button, childbirth, all that mess, whatever.
Oh, yeah, she suffered in childbirth. Yeah, because of her sin. So from the very beginning of this doctrine, the woman was cast as the negative influence, the stupid person, the one that can't lead and can't make good decisions because she listened to the snake, the serpent, and the one she stupidly got her husband in all kind of trouble, impoverished and cast out of a beautiful place because she listened to another creature. So therefore she's stupid, she's inferior, she has no leadership skills, ability to think clearly for herself. So this is a whole setup.
That's true.
For male domination and patriarchy.
That's true. That is true.
Now I do believe the way this earth is alive, and the beauty on this planet, with the vegetation, the trees, the oceans, the skies, and all. This just couldn't happen on its own. I believe there is some greater force, spirit, or whatever that created this, even if it went through evolution, with the dinosaurs and the whatever, blah, 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 and all these, like the humanoids, going through the evolutionary phases. How can it just end up like this? If everything function, I'm not talking about the toxic environment that we have, but how everything is so interrelated, and, how even the smallest creatures, they have their life path and all of the geometry that show that everything is so very similar. It's just
everything
beautiful.
is connected.
Yeah, this just couldn't happen on its own. It's just no way. I just don't believe it.
Could it have happened in chaos?
Yeah. Mm-mm.
You don't think
so? Nope. I don't.
Because we've all been through some type of chaotic event, and at the end, it became beautiful, right? Most of the time, it became, okay, I could deal with this. But yes, I'm trying to use that as parallel to this universe. There are stories. There's plenty of stories. One of the stories from the 5% Nation is that matter of fact, let me go back a little bit further, that there was a planet that crashed into Earth, and from that planet there were other beings, humanoids, that populated the Earth. If I'm saying it correctly. And because of their behaviors, they were ran back into the Caucasus Mountains, and posts were set up and walls were set up so that they can't come out of the mountains and cause problems anymore. But through over time, the people at those posts started to intermingle with the people from the Caucasus Mountains. And that's how they was able to get back into causing chaos and destruction. That's the story from the 5% Nation, one of their stories that they tell.
And who created this story? Put this story out?
I have no idea. I'm saying that's from the 5% Nation. That's one of their lessons. It's called the story of Yaku or something like that, and it talks about the white people causing chaos and being ran back into the mountains. And the post was set up. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of their stories.
I see.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know different cultures have different stories of how the earth was created. Man was created.
Yeah.
I just hate how
Everyone has
religion.
different stories.
Yeah. And remember, the black person who was the brother that had the woolly hair, and he was the bad one. Remember? I can't remember the story. Maybe Antoinette knows it. Of course they meant the ethnic person, the bad person in the Old Testament.
In the Old Testament, who you talking about, Moses or somebody different?
Somebody different. It was like two brothers or something like that. One was bad. Of course, they described
Abel.
Cain and Abel, yeah.
Yeah, Cain and Abel. Yeah. Yeah. Cain and Abel. But when you get into the Bible, when you get into the religious factor, it gets kind of crazy, kind of weird, like, right? Because if Cain was cast out of the garden or wherever, he was cast out, sent out, and was able to produce a family from I don't know what, because I thought y'all was the only people that existed.
I know. Then all of a sudden there were people in different places. I'm like, I was talking to my father. I thought they was the only ones, Adam and Eve, right? How can they make all the people? It started with a couple. If their children got together, they'd be retarded. So why are developmentally disabled? So how does that happen that the earth got populated from just one couple?
Right. That part. So you have that dynamic. What makes it even more crazier. Right.
I know. And then all of a sudden the Bible talks about people in some other part of the land. I'm like, well, where'd they come from?
Where did they come from? Right.
Yeah.
And who was God talking to when he said we will make man? Who the hell was he talking to? In the image of us.
Yeah.
Who was he talking to? When we bring up the Bible, who was he talking to? What are we talking about here?
Well, I talked to a priest who was getting his PhD from Stanford some years ago, African priest, and he taught religion at Stanford, and so we were talking, and he said, there's a lot of metaphors in the Bible. The stuff didn't actually happen, but it's metaphors. And he said, you really got to understand the Bible, because a lot of stuff is lost in translation. So he said, you really have to go into the archives. You have to be able to understand Latin, and that old Latin, and Greek, and all that stuff. You have to know the history, when that was written, what had been going on before, during, those books. You have to know the socioeconomics, the culture of the person writing it. The gender dynamics, all of that. Nobody's doing that.
Right. That's
So
right.
when people think they act like they know exactly what that means because it's said, you don't know what it really means.
Right. That's true. That's true. And you don't know what was going on at that time because it doesn't really fully tell you what was going on at that time.
And so what does this mean? What are they really saying metaphorically? Because they may not be able to come out and just say what's up. You see what I'm saying? And they had women that wrote books, and they took them out the Bible. They didn't allow them to be part of the official Bible.
Right.
So,
unless she was in despair, because you got the story of Ruth, who had to leave where she was at to go somewhere else to a foreign land, or with her daughter-in-laws, because all their men died. So I guess it was a war at that time. I don't know. I'm thinking it was. And they had to leave. So, and she had to find favor,
Mm-hmm.
So that was interesting. I mean, that's the only time when a woman is spoke about in the Bible, unless she went against a god and she was a queen somewhere, then she was killed or murdered because she was not following the god of that day, of the conqueror or the one with, she was following an older guard or a different guard. So, and so she was killed. Numerous of them was killed. So, throughout the Bible.
I think they, those men gathered at the Council of Nicaea. I remember my father was saying, and they determined what books were going to be a part of the Bible. Because there's the book of Enoch, which I bought, and I read some of it. It was quite interesting. The book of Enoch was quite interesting.
Yes, yes. Now, is that the one that went away for a certain amount of years? The Enoch went away, right? Enoch supposedly had walked with God, right?
I don't really know. I can't remember about that. There's also, I'm looking at the Gospel of Mary. There's various apocryphal texts. They were part of the Greek Septuagint or whatever translation of the Hebrew scriptures, and were considered for inclusion in the early Christian traditions. However, many were excluded due to lack of direct mention in the New Testament, lack of endorsement by church councils, or other theological reasons. So there's like the book of Tobit, the book of Judith, Wisdom of Solomon. They talk about the book of Enoch, the book of Jubilees, book of Adam and Eve, the life of Adam and Eve, the infancy, Gospel of Thomas, the Apocalypse of Peter, the Maccabees, Baruch, B-A-R-U-C-H, Baruch, or Baruch. I wonder how you pronounce Baruch, B-A-R-U-C-H. Is it Baruch?
I don't
know. So, yeah, so I would, it'd be interesting to read. I would like to read the life of Adam and Eve and the infancy.
What, you have that? You have that?
Oh, no,
right now?
I don't have them. I'm just looking online about these banned books, or the ones that weren't included.
Okay.
But it might be.
Now, what religious group has those books? Is that a part of a religious group that have those books, like the Jews or something?
Let's see. Who would have the banned books? They might be in the libraries. I don't know. I'm sure they're in the Catholic Church has them, and
the Catholic Church.
I'm sure they do. Oh, the Book of Esther. They got the Book of Esther.
Okay.
Greetings, sisters. How you all doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Sister Adela.
Sister Adela, we're doing a girl talk tonight.
Okay.
Even though the title is called The Howard Question, and I was trying to find the connection of out of Africa theory. So I looked at the hominoids, the bloodlines, the blood types, not bloodlines, blood types, and the land bridges that connected Asia to the Americas that possibly still exist today. And then we got into the religion, some religious parts as well.
You talking about like the Bering Strait?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And so okay, the out of Africa, what do they say about
Well, they oh my goodness, it's so mixed up because we're talking about like the after the ice ages. So they were saying that some people migrated back into Africa, and then a small handful came back out of Africa, and then some came from Eurasia, and then it's what I was finding was a runaround. So I can't draw a conclusion because I'm finding the runarounds. Because not only did they say, the Homo sapiens came out of Africa, they put the Neanderthal and another humanoid species as well. So and I was like, I'm tired of reading. I'm tired of reading. But yeah, it became.
So you're an evolutionist. Are you an evolutionist?
I wouldn't classify myself as an evolutionist, but I would say that it is quite evident that we, as humans, as Homo sapiens, have evolved and are evolving and will continue to evolve based on our environment.
So when you say evolve, what do you mean? What's changing?
Well, okay, let me tell you one thing that I've noticed that have changed. You remember the Adam's apples? I remember the older men, their Adam's apples used to protrude out of their neck. I don't see that with the younger generations. And I'm saying that the ones that are between 30 and 50, 55 years old, I don't see that with them. I rarely see that, the Adam's apple protruding out of their neck.
Okay.
So that makes you get what I'm saying?
I'm hearing what you're saying, but I see Adam's apples. Generally, I see Adam apples in men who have more resonance in their voice, maybe a deeper voice. But I don't know. I can't say I paid attention to that. Like you're saying you don't see Adam's apples.
It's very rare I see one.
I mean,
it's very rare.
That's something. Okay, but that's something that you could see. Well, if you saw Adam's apple, you knew that was a man. You know what I mean? If women don't have protruding Adam's apples. We have one, but I mean it doesn't protrude.
Correct.
I guess that's what do they call it? It's something else. I'm saying Adam's apple, but there's another term for it. What is it? I'll look it up. But okay, I'm just listening.
I wonder if it's all these old toxins out in the environment, from microplastics to a lot of hormones.
Absolutely.
Remember that frog study?
Mm-hmm.
If it's it's having an impact on how we're evolving. What's happening with our bodies, our DNA.
Now, I think I was listening and I heard when you were reading about the blood types, you said that O was the precursor to the other blood types. Did you say that in your reading, sister?
Yes, that's what the scientific world says. That it is a. I have my paper, but it's. Let me see if I can find it. Yes, that is the universal blood type.
Right.
And that it is a. I have to go out in the room and get the paper. It's based on memory.
But then you said that
Bobby, I'm just reading that the earliest blood type, this is from AI, from a molecular standpoint, is considered to be type A. The mutations that led to the development of blood types O and B are believed to have originated from type A. While type AB is the most recent,
but
occurring with the mixing of populations in the 16th century, the other blood types are much older, with B being more recent than A.
You said they're much older. The other blood types are much older than A?
No, B is comes after A. A came before B. So before B, I'm sorry. But it says that the O and B, wait a minute. The development of blood types O and B are believed to have originated from type A. The type AB is the most recent. And that occurred with mixing of populations in the 16th century. So in the 1500s, I guess A and B got together and they created AB blood type.
But AB doesn't have any antigens, right? There's no antigens. Is that the one that when they're combined, it doesn't have antigens? A has the B antigen. B has the A antigen. O doesn't have any antigens. Is that correct? I'm just thinking in my head.
I know
because
O negative doesn't have any antigen.
Because it doesn't have the antigen, and it can be used by any blood type because of the antigen.
Well,
then you have this
AB. Are you talking about O?
No, I'm talking about what I was trying to get to the universal donor because it doesn't have the antigen. A has a B antigen. B has an A antigen. Okay? O doesn't have any antigens. That's why it's a universal donor. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Is that what it's saying?
Oh, let me go get the paper because I didn't go get it. Let me go get it.
Okay, well, I think sometimes information that we get is not correct. Now, I think I heard Antoinette say something that I thought made a lot of sense. and that is that there's a lot of stuff that's being done with body parts. You know, they can take body parts from people and transplant them, right?
Oh,
Now, Sister Adwa, if there's O positive blood, it can give to other people that have positive blood, the antigen, the positive antigen. Yeah, I'm trying to think through this. Yeah, and yeah, but O negative blood, I think O negative. I think wait a minute, O negative, can it give? I don't think it can give to. Let me look this up because I don't want to say the wrong thing. Negative blood.
so it says that the O negative blood origins arose as a result of
But
mutation.
O negative can get to anybody because it doesn't have it lacks the AB antigens and the RH factor. That's another thing, the RH factor. That means O negative can be given to anybody without triggering an immune reaction.
And what
But
people
O positive have that positive antigen, so it can give to a lot of people as long as they have the positive antigen too.
Okay.
So if it's A positive, they can give A positive. If you're AB positive, they can give to you. If you're B positive, O positive can give to, the B positive person.
Okay.
But because the O negative doesn't have that antigen at all, then it can just give to anybody.
But so let me get this: is the O negative and the RH negative the same type of blood, or they're different blood types?
I think that's what it is when they say RH negative. I think they're talking about the antigen.
Okay, because that blood type is the only blood type that the fetus is attacked. The fetus is treated as an alien and is attacked by the body if the person is not given a shot to stabilize or sensitize the blood.
Okay, so let's talk about the RH factor.
Yeah, to nobody, that's something with my daughter. Remember I said that when she gets pregnant, she has to, be medicated and everything else. That's the reason why she better not have no more.
Right.
If RH stands for rhesus. Rhesus is a monkey. There's a type of monkey that's a rhesus monkey.
Yeah.
Well, my daughter's not a monkey.
No, it has nothing to do with your daughter. I'm just talking about what the RH factor is called, the RH factor. Rhesus factor. And I'm just saying that there is a rhesus monkey. I wonder if they did experiments to find research using the rhesus monkey, and they discovered the RH factor from that testing of rhesus monkeys. That's what I'm thinking.
But if you're an evolutionist, you think that you evolved from a monkey.
I know, isn't
so
it?
That
I know.
Would substantiate what you're saying, okay?
I got it. I thought about that too.
You're looking at the blood. Let's see. Damn it, they just had it. Ah, man. Okay.
And then that might not be the case at all. It just might have been the person's name who discovered that RH factor. Okay.
Right, because they
I don't know.
use the monkey for blood transfusion and reaction when they noticed that some people's blood cells clump together when mixed with the blood
Mhm.
of a Regis monkey. This led to the identification of the Rh factor, which is a protein on the surface of the red blood cell.
Yeah, so they were
And it's
using
always used
research at
after,
those rhesus monkeys. That's what I
right,
thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah. And this blood type was, now see, now they, relatively recent in human history. The
Because
Rh factor is thought to
yeah.
have, okay, okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, I don't want to interrupt. That's a bad habit.
No. You can go ahead.
Okay, it says the Rh factor testing is known as rhesus factor testing, is a simple test, blood test, determining if a person has the Rh protein on their red blood cells. People are either Rh negative or Rh positive, and that depends on whether they carry the protein. So if you're Rh negative, you don't carry the protein. If you're Rh positive, you do carry the protein on your red blood cell. So Rh factor testing is important during pregnancy, blood transfusions, and blood donations to ensure blood compatibility. During pregnancy, Rh factor testing is usually performed during the first prenatal visit. Because why is that important during pregnancy? If you are Rh positive, that means you have that protein, that positive protein on your red blood cell. This is generally not a problem during pregnancy. However, it becomes relevant when an Rh negative mother, like Antoinette's daughter, she's O negative, I think she said, carries a Rh positive baby, as the mother's body can develop antibodies against the Rh positive blood, which could be harmful to future pregnancies. Yeah. So it'll be okay during that pregnancy, but the mother will develop antibodies against the Rh positive blood.
Right.
So it's that's the only blood type that actually attacks the fetus.
Well, if your Rh factor, so if there's a Rh negative mother and she has a Rh positive baby, that's the fetus, right? Then the mother's blood, because they views it as, something not good, and they're going to develop antibodies against the Rh negative blood. No, against the Rh positive blood. Oh, God, I'm getting confused. So now the mother has antibodies. The baby's born. Now the mother has Rh positive antibodies, right? Even though she's Rh negative, her body sees that Rh positive baby as an enemy and something, to attack, right? So now she's gonna develop antibodies against that Rh positive blood. So she gets pregnant in the future and the baby has Rh positive blood, then her antibodies is going to attack that baby.
Okay.
Now, I wonder if that was a result of the Neanderthal mating with the Homo sapiens.
Oh, okay. And then, so to prevent that from happening, like in the future, the mother's given a medicine called Rogam, and it's going to prevent antibody formation. So she won't develop those antibodies against the Rh positive blood. Yeah. So that's what she would say. She had to take an injection or medication or whatever. Well, science can be used for some good, can't it?
Yes, again.
It's sad about the animals that suffered and died in order to get to something very helpful.
Right.
That's biotechnology.
Well, in science, and science is a cruel field. Has a long history of cruelty, not just against animals, but against humans as well. In the name of medicine, in the name of research.
I believe they developed some, chimeras. I really do. I know, as crazy as people are, well, those movies be telling us too a lot of stuff. It's amazing. Where they're developing all kind of creatures using different DNA.
With DNA slicing?
Well, I just believe it's just some creatures that have been developed. I don't know. Down in some underground, crazy, walled-off lab,
Oh, yeah. I mean, because if you go deeper into the water, you'll find the animals are more, well, the fish, let me say the fish, are more, they don't look like the fish that you would normally see. Some of them have
I don't want to go deep like that.
Some of them have teeth. Some, they're kind of creature-like.
Yes,
the deeper
are.
you go into the ocean, they look like creatures. They don't look like fish anymore.
They are creatures down there, and they have some big ones too. They say huge creatures. And they say you can go so deep, it's so dark, you can't see a thing. It's pitch black.
Pitch black.
And they moving around in that. Okay. I'll stay up here. That's okay.
Right. So imagine if you go deeper underground, what you'll find as far as creatures go. Because I mean, I have to think like that. If that's happening in the water, I know it has to happen on land as well. Like what kind of creatures are deep within the ground, what they would look like.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's evolution. Based on their environment, they had to evolve into that in order to survive.
And then you wonder what's out there, in the beyond. Out yonder.
Right.
In the sky.
Right. I mean, I got to think like this. I got to think like everything hasn't been discovered. Not in the water, and definitely not on land, and not in the land. Am I saying it right? In the land, underground. Mm-hmm. Everything hasn't been discovered. So there's going to be things that is going to be, when they come to surface, is going to be astounding.
It's true. Mm-hmm. They keep messing with the environment the way they're doing.
They're going to wake something up.
Well, they said they've been finding, they're still finding creatures they've never seen before, just, creatures out there. Every now and then I'll read something on the internet. I think they found something a couple of weeks ago. But yeah.
Yeah. So, being that you over there in Africa, do you ever hear them speaking about walking to the Americas using the ring land land bridges.
The Bering Strait.
Yeah, the Bering Strait. Bering. It's so simple, but I can't even pronounce it. Bering.
It's okay. Yeah, Bering. It's okay.
Yeah, I say Bering.
Bering. Ring. Yeah, I can see that. I wonder. So yeah, they said that. That the people walked across. I guess was it the ice or something? Was it made out of ice? The Bering Strait, and they walked across the land bridge.
When the water tides are low. When the water tides are when the water is low, you can walk across. I don't know if it still exists today, but as of the 1590s, matter of fact, 1945, some researchers went out there and confirmed it. So it still exists, but
they said that. Okay, I'm reading. The Bering Strait has been the subject of scientific theory that humans migrated from Asia to North America across the land bridge known as Beringia when the lower ocean levels, a result of glaciers locking up vast amounts of water, exposed a wide stretch of the sea floor, both at the present strait and in the shallow sea north and south of it. This view of how Paleo-Indians entered America has been the dominant one for several decades and continues to be the most accepted one. Numerous successful crossings without the use of a boat have also been recorded since at least the early 20th century.
Mm-hmm.
How many miles is it? How many miles is that strait?
That is a good question.
Yeah. It
53.
talks about the width, the depth, and the.
It's 53 miles.
It's 53 miles?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. You can walk 53 miles. You know, you can walk up to, hardy, maybe like 10 miles a day.
Wait a minute, that's Russia. Wait a minute, hold on. Guess how many miles Russia is from the United States?
How many?
Three miles.
No.
What in the world? And it takes you approximately 2 hours to walk across the Bering Strait.
Because remember that woman said I could see Alaska from my porch. What was she up to? You know that woman that became the governor, and she was so unqualified. She made all that money, and her daughter was on Dancing with the Stars. And who was that? Sarah Palin.
She said she could see Russia from her steps.
She said Alaska from her porch. I think she said that's what she said. So Alaska is part of the United States territory. So yeah, I guess maybe Alaska is maybe close to Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how close. What did happen to Sarah Palin? Okay, yeah, the narrow distance between mainland Alaska and mainland Russia is approximately 55 miles. This is where the Bering Strait separates them. That's what it is. Yeah. What is Sarah Palin doing these days? She made all that money, so unqualified. Sarah Palin.
Yeah. She got
Today,
in and got out.
she was the governor. Her net worth, what is it? You could really never know.
Right.
Let's see. Where is Sarah Palin up to? The men thought she was attractive. They voted for
Ah. Sarah
her.
Palin.
What is she doing? She's 59. Let me see, what was this article written? Oh, that was in 2004, so she's 60 now. But this article said that she gathered at the Take Our Border Back rally in Texas to take our country back after the state's National Guard took control of the border from federal agents. She said the federal government had allowed the invasion. She stepped down as governor of Alaska in 2009. She still has a loyal following. And what is that? Her boyfriend is Ron Duguay. He's 66. He's a legend in the ice hockey world and played 12 seasons in the NHL. They began dating in 2022. Remember her husband, Todd Palin? They split in 2020. She said the divorce was earth-shattering, explaining she found out about it through an email from her then-partner's lawyer. They met in high school and eloped in 1988. They have 5 children together. She's loyal to Trump. That was a year ago. Yeah. So she appeared in The Masked Singer. Oh, she was a mess. She was John McCain's running mate. She has a net worth of $8 million, according to Celebrity Net Worth. That was last year. Who knows how much she got?
Right.
Yeah. Old Sarah Palin. She was something else.
You said the men found her attractive.
Yeah, they found her. Even some black ones I talked to. Because, she was kind of like one of them little sassy women that, would throw it, down, so to speak. Because she had some risque stuff in pictures and stuff. Her mini skirts and her boots and all that stuff. And something else was going, I can't remember. Yeah.
You know what? I can see why they liked her. You know who she put you in the mind of? Erica from the soap operas.
Oh,
what's her
Erica!
name?
All my children.
In the mind of her. All my children. Yeah.
She had that smile. She has kind of her smile. Yeah, she does.
I can see why they liked her.
Yeah, Champagne was kind of cute, yeah. And she had that kind of next door girl look with that wide, toothy smile. Like, you know what I'm saying? She was something, though.
Wow. I guess those are all my children watches right there with Grandma.
Oh, I like Erica McCain.
Oh, wow. She couldn't go nowhere. Everybody was going to fight her and beat her up. That was funny.
No, Erica never did anything to anybody. I know.
That's how good of an actress she was, I guess. So, yeah, they would want to beat her up. She couldn't go anywhere.
She should have got what did they get for them soap operas? Them awards? And year after year, they wouldn't give her that award, and she was so deserving. I said to myself, somebody she wasn't sleeping with, okay?
Oh, yeah.
she didn't play that game, and they wouldn't, they wouldn't give her that award. Some she wouldn't do.
Mhm. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, Tyrone, you can go ahead and thank everyone thank the ladies mainly. The ladies, thank you for calling into the show. We're going to keep it going on. I just want Tyrone to be able to go ahead and shut down YouTube.
Okay, now.
Hopefully, even though we just thought about things and we just talked through it, I'm okay with that. Because I know we're not going to find the answers looking through the internet. We're really not going to find it. You know, sometimes it takes a lot more than that to get the results that we're looking for. But just to create a conversation and create ideas or thoughts for others to look into, I'm okay with that. You know, thank you, ladies, for joining. And Tyrone, you can take it off of YouTube.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It was something different. You know, learned something. We called stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Thank you. But Tyrone, we can stay on the line, but Tyrone can take it off of YouTube. Take it down off of YouTube. It's fine. Let me check Tyrone. Tyrone, are you there? You can go ahead and take it down off of YouTube. Thank everyone for tuning in. And we'll try to get the rest of the Howard. I guess the next week it'll be the same thing. Next week, Friday, tune in. It'll be the same thing. The Howard question. I'm going to call it the Howard question so I can finish off with the rest of the letters in his name. Yeah. Uh-oh. I don't know what Tyrone's doing. He probably fell asleep or something. Yeah, he probably fell asleep or something. But everybody's line was open. Everybody's line is open as well. So.
The spaceship is about to land.
Right. The spaceship is about to land. Yeah, come on, land it.
Yeah.
How you doing, Joshua?
Okay. Did you just get off
You
the
okay?
spaceship?
You got off your spaceship? What you trying to imply? What are you trying to imply?
I just got off my spaceship.
Oh, Lordy mercy.
I was flying through the galaxies and checking out the stars and the planets as I went. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you had time to travel.
But a lot of black folks out there. You know, a lot of black on certain planets. Ain't nothing but black folks on certain planets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them black folks, yep. Hey, what's going on? I figured I called him before I check in, before I lay down and get some shut eye.
Well, tonight we were talking about the Homo sapiens, the hominoids, the blood type,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hello. What's going down?
Hello. Hey, how you doing, sir?
Peace, y'all.
With you? How you doing, mama's boy?
Just checking in. Y'all continue.
No, you know what? How is our P. Diddy trial going? You know, you are the,
Oh, so
you in the
I'm the P
courtroom.
Diddy.
You know what's going
I'm the
on.
P Diddy reporter. Well,
Yes, sir.
today court was closed, and I guess because of the holiday, they don't resume until Tuesday. So I will be off work.
Ah, shoot.
Damn.
Right.
I know
That's a long weekend.
we starting to miss our local Diddy news, ain't we?
Yeah, we gotta get the Diddy news. Oh boy.
That's
You know,
funny.
you remember the Booty Bandit? You remember talk of the Booty Bandit, the predator that who spent damn near 40 years in prison and raping men in prison. You ever heard of the Booty Bandit?
You have, sister? No.
No.
If I have heard of it, if I had heard of it, I probably forgot it.
Well, okay. So there was an inmate. Let me see. Let me look up the correct name.
I won't Google that. I'm sorry. I will not Google that. I don't want that showing up. I'll let you. It's more appropriate on your computer. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. Okay, the Booty Bandit or Booty Warrior. His name is Fleece Johnson.
Fleece Johnson.
Yeah, Fleece Johnson.
Man, I do not like this man's name.
Oh yeah. They did okay, let me get into the real life Booty Bandit.
Say his name again to yourself and just think about what you just said.
That sounds like a black man.
Exactly.
You hear me, Sister Nobody?
A black man.
Say that name to yourself again and just think about what you said.
Booty Bandit.
No, his real name. Or so.
Fleece Johnson.
Yeah, that sounds. You see what I'm saying? Sounds weird.
I know. He was a character in the Boondocks. He was a character on the Boondocks, whatever, in the Boondocks, right?
Uh-huh.
But he's a real life person.
I'm hearing this.
He's a real life person. I'm trying to get the story of the Booty Bandit. Oh Lord. Let me see.
Boy, you messing me up with this conversation. I'm just have to tell you this.
I want to, what I'm going to try to get to.
I mean, you do understand.
I'm going to try to get to what I'm trying to say, right?
Why are you trying to drag me into this damn conversation?
No, because let me tell you what happened. He was on. These young boys think that man is someone to play with.
Mm-hmm.
On social media, you know, these content creators, these younger black males think that he's someone to play with, right?
Right.
So what they did was they put him and Woody together. You know who Woody is, right?
Yes, I know exactly who Woody is.
Okay, so they put Fleece Johnson, the Booty Bandit, and Woody together. And he went to shake Woody's hand. And Woody said to him, You get prison time, right?
Right.
He said, yeah. He said, so you know I'm not shaking your hand. You know I'm not shaking your hand. So he dabbed him with his fist.